Right, I think it should be solved now, right? So there was no voice for 3 minutes until Letizia actually warned me. Thank you very much for that. Yeah, for that warning. Great. I am lost nowadays. I don't know. I'm very much lost. So yeah, what I mentioned at the beginning? Basically, let me go back very quickly. So we are covering this time the topic, the suffixes, right, added to verbs, and asıya or esiye is the last one among those suffixes. After finishing this class today, we'll be covering what? We'll be covering the suffixes making adjectives out of verbs or nouns out of verbs. Okay, that class. Merhaba Villa Aspara. Merhaba, hoş geldin. Thanks for joining. So, last time I had problems. I already mentioned this while I was mute. So I had problems, and now they are fixed. And I decided to resume the classes, and I hope there will be fewer of these technical problems in the future kind of classes. So let's continue to our go to our work pad and continue with our topic. So what did I say? I actually said nothing so far. The only thing I mentioned here was that when you look at this suffix, okay, this suffix asıya or esiye, from the beginning, let me tell you that this is a very rare suffix, okay, very rarely used. It's not used frequently, and in addition to that, it has also an alternative, okay. So when you have also an alternative, a much more utilized, a much more frequently utilized alternative, this structure becomes very much not necessarily avoided, but at least used much rarely, okay, much more rarely. So just keep that in mind. But it's still kind of good to know these suffixes, okay. And again, just before we start, if you like these videos, I really appreciate any likes, thumbs up to the videos that you put at the bottom of this video. So let's look at the rules, okay. What are the rules in relation to this asıya and esiye endings added to the verbs as suffixes? First of all, it's a format adverb, okay. It's an adverb describing the how of the action, the format of the action, how you do something, okay, in which way you did something. And the meaning here is very simple. It's until, okay, until you do something, until you did something, until you will do something, and so on. So when you have this added to the end of the verbs, right, the roots, you immediately get that until meaning. The suffix is added. Let me read the third note. The suffix is added to the verb root, and for verb roots ending in a vowel, you get the fusion letter ye additional. Okay, this one. The person and the tense of the verb usually depends on that of the action verb. So you have to look at what the action verb says, who that person is, and then you add, especially for translation purposes, of course. In Turkish, we don't have kind of that specific person used, right, for that verb, because you see we just add suffix. But the meaning comes from what? From the action verb. So you have to look at the main action verb in the sentence to understand to which person this action relates. And it can also be negative, which means you can add ma or me negative endings to this to the verb root before you add this suffix. Okay. So here you see examples, right? So what do? You just have verb root, which means a structure without makmek, right? As you see here, you have so many verbs here, bilmek, vermek. So you throw away makmek and you get the root. Then you just add asıya, esiye, or yatasıya, yeyip if you get vowel at the end of the verb root. So for bilmek, the root is bil, and therefore it will be but bilesiye. Until knowing, until you know, right? Until I knew. So the person comes from the sentence, therefore we don't know anything about the person here, but overall that's basically what it means. So vermek, the root is ver, veresiye. Until giving, give, right? Gave. And also veresiye is a very frequently used word. Veresiye means when you go to the shop, right? Local shops. This is very kind of very Turkish, kind of very cultural, okay? And I'm sure there might be some historical practice of this in other nations too, but basically when you go to the shop, right, local shop, downstairs, I mean below your building, and get something, and you promise to pay later, right? That's called ölesiye. So you give, they give you, okay, until you pay back, okay. Ölesiye or ölesiye defteri, it's a notebook about the ölesiye payment. So it's a payment. Ölesiye means on account, on credit, okay, that you get something without payment and you promise to pay back, let's say when your parents are back, right, from the work, for example, or next week, next month, until you get the salary. Okay, that's also some kind of a transformed word which has this kind of a unique meaning. Ölesiye. Bulmak, the root is bul, and you make it bulasıya, right? Until finding, until find, if you find, until I found, for example. Söylemek, it ends in a vowel, right? The root is söyle, it ends in a vowel. Therefore, you add one fusion letter ye here, it becomes söyleyesiye. Okay, söyleyesiye, which means until saying, söyleyesiye, until saying, until you say, until I say it, and so on. Bakmak, the root is bak, becomes bakasıya, until seeing, until looking, right? Until you looked, I looked, whatever. And ağlamak, ağla is to cry, right? Ağlamak is to cry, ağla is the root, it ends in a vowel, therefore you have to add fusion letter ye here, which becomes ağlayasıya, okay? Ağlayasıya, which means until crying, until cry, until I cried, until he, she cried, and so on. So this is basically how you add this asıya, esiye to the verb root, okay? And again, don't forget to get the verb root, you have to throw away, you have to delete, erase this mak, mek at the end of the Turkish infinitive verbs, okay? That's how you get the root. You have to erase that part, mak, mek. Alright, so let's look at examples. I don't have many examples because this is very rare structure, okay? It's a very rare structure. I personally, for example, will almost never use this, okay? I haven't used it very kind of recently. This is very rare, okay? Therefore, I don't have many examples. I have 3 examples here. And the first example here is what? Adamı öldüresiye dövmüşler, okay? You will see, by the way, you will hear this in the Turkish TV series, by the way, TV shows, okay? It is used, but not that frequent, okay? So, adamı öldüresiye dövmüşler. Adam here is the man. Adamı is the accusative case, right? It gets I-O-U. It's accusative case. Adamı, the man, right? Öldüresiye means öldürmek is to kill. So, you throw a makmek and add esiye here, okay? Öldüresiye. Dövmüşler. Dövmüşler is the reported past tense. You can also use dövdüler, right? Dövdüler or dövmüşler. It's still past tense, but dövmüşler is the reported past tense, which means you reportedly hear it from somebody, right? Or you learn it afterwards. So, adamı öldüresiye dövmüşler means they beat the man until death. Okay, that's basically what it means, until death. It doesn't necessarily mean the person died, but it means basically they violently kind of beat him. They beat him deadly. Okay, that's basically what it means. Even if it means until killing, of course. Until killing here means it's a rhetoric meaning here. It means that they beat the man so hard, right, that he was almost dead, or he was kind of about to die. That's basically what öldüresiye means. Öldüren, right? Öldüresiye until killing. The second example is tatlıdan doyasıya yedim. Okay. Now tatlı means dessert. Tatlıdan is the ablative case, right? Dan, den endings. You have dan, den endings. It means basically of dessert, right? I ate of dessert. Some of dessert. That's why we have of this kind of ending here. Dan, den, okay? Tatlıdan. I ate of dessert or dessert. Yedim is I ate, right? Doymak is to get full, to be full, to feel full, saturated, right? Sated. And when you add the asıya, esiye, you have to add, of course, the hard version, right? Not esiye, but asıya. Doyasıya. Yedim means until I was full. So you see, here, for example, because the main action verb is yedim, you translate it for yourself into English and as what? Until I was full, right? In fact, in Turkish, we don't have any person here, right? When you say doyasıya, there is no person mentioned here. There is no tense mentioned here. So the person and tense comes from the action verb, which is yedim here. Therefore, you translate it as I ate dessert until I was full. Until I, and until I was full. Okay. Again, on its own, without any kind of additions, without any verbs, doyasıya doesn't mean any tense or person. It's just until kind of the verb. Okay, until verb. That's basically what it means. The third example, beni görmeyesiye arabayı sürdün. Now, I made it specifically negative so that you see how we can also make negative. So we have verb root, right? We have ma negative, and then we have, because ma ends in vowel, you have to add this fusion letter ye in between, and then you have esiye, right? Görmeyesiye. Beni is the accusative case of ben, me, right? Arabayı is the accusative case of araba. You have this I added together with the fusion letter ye. Sürdün, you drove, right? You drove the car. Arabayı sürdün. So beni görmeyesiye kadar, beni görmeyesiye arabayı sürdün, okay? Beni görmeyesiye arabayı sürdün. You drove the car until you didn't see me, or until you couldn't see me, right? Basically, it's kind of a distancing yourself from some place you're living. So you drove the car until you did not see me. Okay. So görmek to see, sürmek is to drive. Sürmek also that has also other meanings, but basically here it is to drive. So these are three examples, just very simple examples. And again, just to repeat, it's not very it's not frequently used structure. Why? Because you also have an alternative, which I will mention below. Let's see now some notes, okay, to this structure. What is the first note? The first note is that some people use it with the word kadar, okay, which means again until, which is a redundancy. Why? Well, for example, when you said doyasıya, doyasıya already means until, right? Until I ate. So I got this sentence below, okay, from above and copied it here. So tatlıdan doyasıya yedim means I already ate until, right? So doyasıya already has this until structure in it. Therefore, when you add doyasıya kadar, that is, first of all, grammatically incorrect, and secondly, it's a redundancy. But people will use it, okay? You will see people in writing and in speech maybe using this kadar as a redundancy, which is something you should avoid, because doyasıya already means until, right? Until being full, until feeling full, or until getting full. So don't use kadar until after this structure, because that's a redundancy. It is meaningless. It's just a repetition of what you already have within the asıya or esiye structure. And second note that I have here is this structure is same with ana, ene, kadar structure, and people prefer this structure more, okay? This structure more that you see in the second note. This structure is more useful, more frequently used than the asıya or esiye structure. So what do? Ölesiye is replaced with what? Öldürene kadar. You see, öldür is the root here, and öldür is the root here. So esiye is replaced with ene kadar here. Okay. Ana kadar, ene kadar, until. Okay. So we haven't seen this an part yet. It is in our probably future topics an, right? Öldürene kadar, yapana kadar, verene kadar, görene kadar, duyana kadar, and so on. But this is basically more frequently used structure. It is the same meaning, okay? Adamı öldüresiye dövmüşler has the same meaning with adamı öldürene kadar dövmüşler. There is no difference, okay? No difference whatsoever between these two sentences. Same, tatlıdan doyasıya yedim is same with tatlıdan doyana kadar yedim. It's same. And beni görmeyesiye arabayı sürdün is same with beni görmeyene kadar arabayı sürdün. Okay, because we have already the structure as an alternative, people usually use this one, okay, this ana, ene kadar. Therefore, you don't necessarily have to force yourself to use this asıya or esiye structure, okay, this kind of suffixes. It is very rarely used, but you have to know it because you will see it in many places, okay, in writing, maybe in speeches. So don't get confused. What is this asıya or esiye? This is basically, it means the same thing, okay, which means until. Okay, so that's basically it. Let me finish the screen here so that you see the last discussed, the things discussed as the last element. That's it for today. I hope to kind of continue our classes in the upcoming week as well. Don't forget to follow the Telegram channel specified in the description of this video. I usually make announcements there about our upcoming live sessions, classes, and the topics that we will be covering. Stay healthy, stay safe. See you in the next classes. Have a nice Sunday. Bye bye.